These niggas keep my name up in their mouth. And they don't even know what the fuck they talking about. No, they are you not. It's just a game. They don't even know what the fuck they talking about. Say, I just not. Give me just a game. You niggas got swing your legs out like yeah. So I'm trying on the video and never not so. When we get good time here, trying to take you on the show. But I'm out of here, cause they really what you want, okay? Money on my mind. You come talking business till I come over the line. Real true things, so niggas gotta take me alive. But I know, only with me, I don't ride, I'll be outside. These niggas keep my name up in their mouth, and they don't even know what the fuck they talking about. Say I am not, if it's just a game, so what's good? What's good? Y'all already know it's coffee time. What's up, Kitty Divine? Miss Angie Hernandez, what's going down? What's up? What's up? Everybody in the background so far, what's up? Trolls and all. Y'all all welcome. Y'all know that. I'm finna get ready to drop the link, Miss Angie, so you can come on up. Hold up. What's good? What's good? I got you. Let me drop the link real quick. You can hit that link, Miss Angie, and go on, come up, let you do your thing. It's coffee time, people. This is gonna be some coffee for everybody. It's enough to go around. You can hit that link at the bottom and it'll take you where I told you. You just push yes and I'll bring you on through. What's good? What's good? Insane. What's up with it? I got a guest that want to speak today. A friend of mine. What's up? What's up, Missy?
hear me?
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you crystal clear. Crystal
Okay.
clear.
I don't know how.
Well,
I just want to say before anything, I want to issue a trigger warning. This is about essay. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the words.
yeah, keep it high. Just get off what you want to get off. Like you told me, go ahead with it. I'm finna go on mute and I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Do you want me to start?
You could go ahead. You can go start right wherever you want to start,
Okay.
beginning or however.
Okay. So in 2014, well, let me start this over. Before any of this ever happened, me and my little sister had never even been in a fight. Like I thought we were really close. But secrets come out. So in 2014, I had gotten in trouble, and my sister, I would call my sister, she had told me that one of my nieces had started getting in a lot of trouble. She started running away from home. She was fighting at school. She was just starting to get in trouble. And she had never been like this before. She was always like a prankster, a clown, always joking with you. She did really well in school. She was very smart. And my sister was like, you need to lecture her to make sure she doesn't go down the same road you go down. And so I would, I tell my niece she needed to stop because, look where I was. And, I would lecture her. Well, I started seeing a therapist, and it clicked in my head that when a child starts acting out for absolutely no reason, it's usually a reason. There's something happened or something is happening. So I got out. I was on probation, and I moved in with my mom and my stepdad. My mom and my stepdad are both preachers. They have their own church. They've been preachers since I was about 16 years old, 15 or 16. And I went to church with them. After church, I pulled my niece to the side. I was like, hey, let me come talk to you about what's going on. And so I started talking to her, hey, what's going on? Why are you acting like this? And she's like, just has an attitude towards me. And she's like, this is just who I am now. This is just who I am now. And, this is how I'm going to be. And I noticed when I was talking to her that my brother-in-law came and got behind us, kind of like he was trying to listen. So I didn't want to too much say anything too loud. And so I looked at my niece and I asked her, did something happen? And she just kind of stiffened up a little bit. And like I said, again, I didn't want to say too much. So I asked her if somebody did something to her. And I didn't fully say what was done to her, but her and I knew that we were talking about my brother-in-law doing something to her. When I asked her that question, it was like I just opened up the water gate. She just started crying and crying and crying. And so I just told her, okay, don't say no more, because my brother-in-law was standing behind us. I told her to tell her mom she was going to come home with me that night, which she did. When we got to my mom and my stepdad's house, I pulled her inside my room so her and I could actually discuss details of what was going on. She told me that my brother-in-law, her stepdad, had been molesting her. And I told her that she needed to tell somebody. She needed to tell my mom, my stepdad, her mom, somebody. And she didn't want to. She was very reluctant. I finally convinced her that, your grandma and your papo, that's what she calls my mom and dad, or my mom and stepdad, excuse me. And I told her they're preachers. They have their own church. They're going to help you. So I convinced her. And we went to my mom and stepdad's room. She proceeded to tell them what was being done to her. And my stepdad stopped her and told her that What was said in that room was not going to leave that room, that we weren't going to tell nobody. And I just was so just thrown back by this. I couldn't believe her own grandfather was telling her not to say anything about her own stepdad molesting her. My mom just didn't even say anything at all. She just was okay with it. I couldn't believe this. I ended up having to move out of the house because I can't take living with people, being around people like that, hypocrites. I moved to Dallas with some family, an aunt and uncle. Was working, trying to do what I had to do to handle my business. There was nothing I could do for my nieces because my hands were tied. Once my stepdad told my niece not to say anything, she completely shut down and she wouldn't talk about it anymore. I did contact the police department, but the police department told me that there was nothing they could do unless I could convince her to tell them, because otherwise it would just be them harassing just harassing a man. So, that wasn't going to happen. So I was living in Dallas for a year. One of my aunt and uncles from over here where I live that were going to the same church as my sister came to visit, and I let them know what was going on, thinking that they would help me. And instead of helping me, they came back and they told my sister that I knew, and I was going to try to help my nieces. So my sister blocked me from everything. She changed my niece's phone numbers. Nobody was allowed to have any type of contact with me whatsoever. I finished my probation in Dallas, moved back over here with the absolute purpose of I needed to help my nieces. And by this time, it was 2016. I was here for maybe 3 or 4 months. And then one night, my niece ran away from home. I just so happened to be at my mom's house that night. And my sister called my mom and said, hey, she ran away, and was asking my mom if my niece was with me. And my mom was like, no, she's been here at my house. What are you talking about? And my sister pretty much started the attack on me because I guess she already knew it was going to happen. So my sister told my mom that if she found out my niece was with me, she was going to call the police on me for harboring a runaway. My mom told me everything my sister said. When I left her house, one of my niece's friends was like, hey, let's go drive around and look for her. I know some of the spots she hangs out with, so let's go look for her. I went with her friend. We drove around to go look for my niece, and she wasn't at none of the spots. So we went back to that particular friend's house, and whenever we pulled in, my niece was there. My niece came straight out of the house, and she was like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to that house. So I did take my niece back to my house with me. And I told her that night that, look, your mom's going to call the cops on me and I'm going to get in trouble. So you can stay here tonight, get a good night's sleep. I'll feed you real good. But in the morning, you have to decide whether, one, you're going to have to leave, or two, you're going to have to tell the police what's going on so they won't take you back to that house, because as of right now, you're a runaway. And when they catch you, that's what they're going to do, is take you back to the house. So she was like, I'm not staying there. I'll take off running if I have to. And I don't want nothing to happen to my niece. So I was like, you can't do that. You're just going to keep getting yourself in more and more trouble. And if you don't tell nobody what's going on, nobody can help you. And it's making you get in trouble. So the next morning, I got ready for work and I told her, hey, what are we going to do? And she was like, okay, I'll go talk. So I went to work that morning. At lunchtime, I came home and I picked her up and we went straight to the police station. I walked into the police station. I told them, hey, my niece was reported as a runaway, but we need to report that her stepdad is molesting her. So the lady in the front was like, hold on, I'll go get some detectives for you to talk to. They pulled my niece and myself into a room. There was 2 detectives and 1 police officer. And my niece had to give them details of at least one incident. So that way they could know she was telling the truth.
You got this.
I know. It's just hard because I had to sit there and I had to listen to it.
I already know.
You know? So she told them about an incident that happened, and the look of disgust on their face, like literally these men were making just faces, like they were completely disgusted, that not at my niece, but at the how it happened, the incident. So they told my niece to be quiet. They're like, okay, don't say no more. By law, they have to call a child advocate. They had to call CPS. They had to get a child psychologist in there so my niece could talk to, the police, but all these people had to be there. I had a youngest niece as well. She had a little sister. So the police department goes to the school. Well, it wasn't a real school. My sister pulled the kids out of public school and put them in school at the church they were going to. So the police go up to that church school and they tell the people at the front that they needed my youngest niece. My sister also worked there at that church. So she comes up to the front and she's like, why do you guys want to take my youngest daughter? And they told my sister, the police tell my sister, ma'am, you need to come up to the police station. Before anybody told her why, before anybody told her anything, my sister said she's lying. And the cops are like, okay, well, you can talk to us at the police station. This was already their first little sign about her. So on her way up to the police station, she calls my niece's dad and she tells him, look, she ran away and she's telling the police that my husband's molesting her because she doesn't want to get in trouble. So she walks into the police department. Mind you, the cops haven't told her anything yet. She walks into the police department and she's causing a scene. She's yelling, she's lying. She just doesn't want to get in trouble. I mean, she's causing the biggest scene. And the cops are like, okay, well, we need to talk to the girls and then we will talk to you. I took my niece there at lunchtime at noon, about 12:30, and they kept her and my youngest niece at the police department talking to them about everything that happened until about 10 o'clock at night. The next day, the detective calls me and he's like, hey, we need you to come in and we need you to do an official statement. So I was like, okay, sure. They're like, hey, but we have your sister here. Are you going to be cool being here the same time your sister's here? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine, So while I was at the police department giving my statement, the police had my sister in another room and she was signing a statement saying that she knew everything that was going on with the girls. She was trading my niece's bodies for gifts from her husband. He bought her custom couches. He bought her a big house in a nice neighborhood. She had a brand new truck. She had everything. And all she had to do was let him do whatever he wanted to my nieces whenever he wanted. My youngest niece was 6 years old when it started. When I took her to report it, she was 12. All of my sister's friends knew. My mom and my stepdad knew. Everybody at the church that my sister went to knew. And nobody ever did anything. Nobody ever did anything to help her. She was 6 years old and she didn't know. My youngest niece seen my sister hand over the 2 oldest girls to their dad, to her husband. So by the time it started happening to my youngest niece, she thought it was normal. She thought that a dad is supposed to do this to his daughter because that's how dads show their daughters love and attention. She didn't know any better. And in my opinion, all the people who stood around and didn't do anything, they helped brainwash my niece into believing this because she knew all of them knew and nobody ever did anything. Once I took her to report this, there was a lot of other stuff that came out. My sister's husband had 2 sons, and they had a teenage sister that was about the same age as my nieces. And so whenever the boys would come and stay the weekend with him, they would invite the little girl over, you know, so she wasn't left out, she wasn't home alone, and the girls were her age. She had stopped coming over. And I remember I asked my sister, you know, how come they don't come over no more? And my sister would always tell me, oh, that the baby mama's tripping, the baby mama just don't like her. So she was doing basically not letting the kids come over out of spite. I contacted the baby mama after I took my niece. And the baby mama told me that he had been molesting her daughter as well, that she found out, and she called my sister and told her. And my sister told her, what do you want me to do? Leave him? Everything's in his name. He makes all the money. Where am I supposed to go? That was her excuse. So she stopped letting the little girl come over. Well, then my sister's husband would call the little girl on her cell phone and listen to the background or listen to her voice while he was masturbating. My sister and him lived across the street from an elementary school for a little while, and he would stand in the window butt naked, pleasuring himself while looking at the playground of the little kids. It was an elementary school, so none of the kids were over 5th grade. Whenever my nieces were younger, there was a time when they came to come live with my mom and my stepdad. And I was always told that they came to live with my mom and my stepdad because my sister couldn't afford to take care of them. And it came out that the reason why they came to live with my mom and my stepdad was because he had touched my oldest niece. So the way the police described it to me was, he has, like, I guess pedophiles have an age that they like. And as the girls would grow out of his age range, then he would move on to the next one. So it was really going on longer than the 6 years that's in the police report. But that's how long it was going on with my niece, my 2 youngest nieces, when I took them to report it. With my first niece, it was just the touching. With my second niece, he did more stuff to her. But with my third niece, she got the worst of it. It was him doing stuff to her, and he would make her do stuff back to him. And she was 6 years old when it started. Once I took my niece to report it as well, the first thing that the detective told me, he was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And he said, "I'm going to let you know right now. Anytime we have somebody come in here and report a child being molested," he goes, "you are going to catch hell from everybody, every direction. So I want to know if you're going to be able to take this. You know, I want you to know what you're getting into." And I told him, it's not even a question, you know, if they're kids, it's not a question. And he was right. He was right. From the second it happened, my oldest niece started getting people after me and my middle niece for telling. They were harassing my middle niece. They were bullying her online, telling her she was a snitch, she was a liar. My mom and my stepdad and my oldest sister all lied to CPS. Everybody was protecting my little sister, not knowing that she signed that statement already. They thought they were helping her, but they really weren't. So because my mom, my stepdad, my sister, my oldest niece were all lying to CPS, they were all telling CPS that basically I just took my niece to report being molested because I was jealous of my sister. and CPS gave my sister the say-so over all the girls. The girls weren't allowed to stay with her, but if they were going to move them to another house or do anything with the girls, they had to have my sister's permission. So because everybody was lying, I called CPS. I had to call supervisors. I emailed. I mean, I was doing everything that I had to do on my end without trying to jeopardize the case.
Hold up, Angie. She ain't got no reason to be lying, my nigga. I told you I know her. She's not lying. Let her tell her story. People so quick to judge a person that's grieving, that's going through this in real life. Y'all have no other bloggers bringing y'all live shit like this. Respect my motherfucking chat or go on, man.
I'm not lying because I have the police report.
Don't worry about them. Continue your story. I'm out.
So where was I? I don't remember. Oh, so I had to contact the supervisors at CPS, and they had to schedule a meeting with my mom and my stepdad to let them know that they knew they were lying about stuff. My sister's best friend and her husband actually had grown-ups from church who's been friends of our family forever, knew my nieces since they were little, went and had a sit-down meeting with my mom and my stepdad saying that if they should go tell the police what they knew. And my mom and stepdad, of course, were protecting my sister, so they told them no. And those people never even went to the police. They kept their mouths shut, even though they knew what my sister was doing to the girl, what was happening. So that's how everything was for me over here. Everybody over here started attacking me because of what happened, because I took my niece to go report it. He said he was going to take it to trial. Well, let me back up. The pastor from his church that he went to bonded him out of jail, and that was his support system. He had an entire church backing him and supporting him the entire time. So for about 2 years, it was drug out. And on the day the trial was supposed to start, he went ahead and he took the plea bargain. He got 35 years for my youngest niece because of her age. He got charged with continuous and vicious sexual assault on a child under 12 years old. In the state of Texas, that is the second worst charge right under capital murder. So that's why he got 35 years for her. They gave him 2 25-year sentences for sexual assault on a child for my 2 other nieces, and then they just stacked it.
So they stacked all of his time. Each sentence got stacked. So it's basically a total of 90-some years, right?
No. They're running at CC. They're running at CC. So basically, the 35 years is aggravated. Yeah, the 35 years is an aggravated charge. So he has to do 85% of that 35 years before he's eligible for parole.
Yeah, the 35 gonna eat the 25s up. What's up, Chris Mooney? What's up, homie? Okay, you can continue, Miss Angela.
So, I mean, till this day, my mom, my stepdad, my sister, everybody in town, my oldest niece, all basically makes it seem, they've always told people that they never knew what was going on. Oh, he was molesting them behind my sister's back. Well, the entire time before the trial was dragging out, I was documenting everything. My niece harassing her sister. I mean, I was screenshotting everything. I was lurking on people's pages. Whenever I found out that my sister's husband was in town, I would go post up where he was and follow them without knowing. So while he was awaiting trial, it like rekindled something between him and my sister. They just like she was still seeing him. She was having sex with him. She was in love. She was posting stuff on Facebook, songs, quotes. I mean, it was like him getting in trouble. Something about it just rekindled something between them. It's sickening. It's disgusting. And my mom, everybody just continued lying. My sister's best friend, the one who sat down and had a meeting with my mom and my stepdad, about not coming forward actually works for the county now. She works advocating for victims, which I think is like spitting in my niece's faces. Because how are you helping victims when my nieces were victims? They were kids. They were kids. She was a baby. She was 6 years old. How are you protecting other victims when you couldn't protect her? You know, your job position shouldn't make like, oh, okay, this is my job, so now I have to protect this person. Like, you either have that integrity in you or you don't, you know? And all these people are Christians. All these people go to church. Anybody can say that I'm lying, but I have screenshots and documentation, and it's not my words. These are these people's words. These are these people showing support for the pedophile and for my sister. Meanwhile, my niece, my youngest niece, has never gotten any help. She is suicidal. She cuts herself. I mean, and my mom and my stepdad and everybody treat her like she's supposed to just get over it. You know, this is the reason why I wanted to bring light to my niece's case, is because, one, this is what the police told me, that how people act when kids are being reported molested. And this shouldn't be the normal. It shouldn't be lies and deceiving and all this crooked stuff when it comes to, you know, the matters of kids. People shouldn't, this shouldn't be normal. Normal should be everybody coming together to actually tell the truth about the pedophiles. And then maybe pedophiles wouldn't get such light little slaps on the wrist. Because, well, everybody's moved on with life. My niece's life is never going to be the same. Her life is destroyed, and she's still a baby. She's still a kid. She's not even a legal adult yet. Her emotional relationships are never going to be the same. None of her relationships, friendships, trust, her view on religion, like, people don't realize how much they just altered her brain, you know? And she was a baby. She was a kid. Her brain wasn't even fully developed, and she was thrown into one of the worst situations, an adult situations, as a child, and expected to process this and just move on by these people. Everybody had their hand in grooming her. If you know something is happening to a child and you don't say anything, you're just as guilty as the person doing something. You're just as guilty as the groomer, because I've seen it firsthand with my niece. I've watched little girls get destroyed, and it's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. I don't know if you want to ask me. I can't see if anybody's saying anything or asking anything. So if there's anything you want to ask me, ask me.
She said if y'all got questions or whatever, y'all can put them in the chat, and I call them out to. I'll let you know what they say.
Let me know.
Y'all have any questions? Stick say yep.
What's up?
Chris Mooney say they always make parole.
Yeah, they do.
The guy's name, do you want to disclose that or what?
I can, yes. It's the state of Texas versus Ernesto Samuel Salazar out of Matagorda County. Like I said, I do have the police report because that's the only thing that they will let me have on the case. It is a sealed case because of all the stuff that went on. It's too disturbing. So the case is sealed. The only people that can see it are the county officials, like the DA and judges.
Somebody said, when did this happen?
I took her to report it November 29th, 2016. So it had been happening, and it was the police report says for 6 years. So it had been happening since 2010 is what they have on the police report. My youngest niece was 6 years old when it started, and she was 12 years old when I took my middle niece to report what was being done to them.
Any questions? Any questions y'all got? I'm looking. Oh, they say, where are your nieces at now? One of the questions.
The oldest niece was already 18 whenever I took my middle niece to report it. So she was living with her husband and his family. My middle niece, she has since turned 18. She has a child and she lives with her boyfriend. My youngest niece, she lives with my mom and my stepdad, unfortunately. Because everybody lied about it, CPS gave my sister the say so of over everything. And let me add this in. My sister has since married another pedophile.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he has a pedophile background already?
Yes. It's my oldest niece's dad. Yes. She divorced her husband and then married my oldest niece's dad, who is a pedophile as well. Yes.
Do you think she should be held accountable for anything?
Well, I think that the reason why that she wasn't held as accountable as she was is because nobody really came forward and was willing to talk to the detectives about my sister's part. Everybody wanted to put it on him. And don't get me wrong, I understand what he did was wrong, but she's just as guilty as he is. I am in therapy because of this, and I have told my therapist, I am going to try to control myself on these issues, but when I see my sister, I don't know how I'm going to react if I ever see her, honestly.
So you haven't even seen her physically since then?
Instead, no, she completely avoids me.
Completely avoids you?
She completely avoids me. Like, if she were to ever see me in public somewhere, she'll turn around before I see her. So if she's ever been in the same place as me, I wouldn't know. But me and her have never been in the same room where I could get to her since before this happened. And
She
actually, huh?
Well, this is what Miss Rennie Mark. I'm a pin the comment. You can see that, right? Can't you see it? You see it on your screen?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was in on it, but that's why the second day I told you when the cops had her in that room, they basically told her, look, like, you can't lie to us because we talked to your kids all night long the night before. We know you knew. And so basically, because everybody was lying, they made it hard for the detectives. So that's why they made a deal with her. They exchanged her immunity for her testimony. They told her, look, you have to testify against him. You have to have nothing to do with him until the trial, and you can't move out of the county. And she agreed to it, but she was still sleeping with him, and then she did move out of the county as well. But they never pursued, like, they never were like, okay, hey, we're gonna go lock you up because you broke this agreement. Because there was so many people lying, they needed her testimony. So that's why she wasn't charged, because all these people lied to protect my sister.
You see that question?
Yeah, I see that one. So when we were little, when I was about 3 years old, my mom abandoned us. She literally dropped us off and never picked us up again. She never answered the phone, never answered the door. So we were in foster care. That's who we were with before we moved to Texas with my mom. One of the foster homes they put us in, the husband was a pedophile. The lady would sleep with her mattress against our door so her husband wouldn't try to come in. But if we were sick and coughing and woke her up at night or something, or if we made her mad, our punishment was that we had to go sleep in the living room so her husband could come and try to get us. Me and my sisters have never actually sat down and talked about everything that we went through, in the foster care system. So there was when we were put out there by ourselves. Whenever I was put out there, I would hide. I would all night long. I would just, if I fell asleep or something, I would wake up and go hide in a different spot. Like every so often I would go hide in a different spot so he couldn't find me. But as far as my sisters, I don't know whatever happened to them because we've never, ever, never talked about it. Okay, so in the state of Texas, it is only illegal not to report that a child is being molested if you're registered with the state. So if you're a teacher, a doctor, a nurse, a clergyman, you're supposed to, by law, you are required to report that the kids are being molested. And on the police report, there's 2 charges for the pastor at the church my sister was going to for not reporting it. But he told everybody at the church not to say anything, and they all listened to him since they were my brother-in-law's support system. So those charges never stuck. And that's one reason why I want to talk about it now, is because I'm trying to get support. I'm trying to get it out there that we need to bring this to legislation here in Texas so that they can make it into a law. Every 2 years, they renew bills to make it into a law. And it should be illegal that any person knowing that a child is being molested and doesn't say anything, that it's a felony. It shouldn't just be for doctors and nurses and teachers. It should go for anybody. But we have to, us as people, we have to do something. Yeah, it does, especially in California too. That's where that Netflix show is with that little Gabriel boy who got killed because he was in the foster system. And we were in the foster system in the 80s too, 80s, early 90s. So it wasn't at all like it was now. Now it's a little bit different. They're a little more open-minded. They're more concerned about, the mental state of kids. But back then it was, you were just a paycheck. That's all we were. We were just a paycheck to people because people get paid for keeping us. Foster homes or facilities, they get a check for every person they have, like inmates, like jails do. That's all you are. You're just another number. So a lot of people think that that's what it is because something happened to my sister, and maybe that's why she let her husband do it to her kids. But my view on stuff is kind of different because when we were little, like I said, my mom abandoned us. And the reason why my mom abandoned us is because the man she was with, he was in the Air Force. He had money, but he didn't want us around. So she gave us up for that man so she could have her good lifestyle. And she never had any contact with us when we were in foster care until she tried to get us back, maybe like that year before. So with my little sister, I think that's what it was too, kind of like we grew up poor because we were always in foster care, And when we lived with my mom and my stepdad, we lived in a little bitty house, 3-bedroom house with 6 kids and 2 adults, So I think that's what my sister did too. Like she followed that toxic behavior from my mom. She was willing to sacrifice her kids for this plush lifestyle because for them, materialistic things is what make you who you are. So yeah, that's what I think it is. And I wish it was like this over here. My sister's husband, he's in prison. And even before he went to prison, he stuck with the same story that my sister had, that my niece was lying because she ran away and she didn't want to get in trouble for running away, even though there's proof. I will say this. I found a diary that my youngest niece had wrote about stuff, and I did make copies and I sent that to the parole board. I couldn't read the whole thing, but I think like it's something important for the parole board to have because my family will never give my niece the opportunity. Like when he comes up for parole, they're not going to do nothing to keep him in jail. They're not going to fight at all. No, they didn't get no type of counseling whatsoever. My youngest niece, when I was still talking to her, because she's not allowed to speak to me anymore since I'm telling people the story now, but she would ask me questions and she would tell me that she would ask my mom and my stepdad questions. She would ask her sister questions. Her biggest question to everybody is how come nobody ever told? When she told them what was happening to her, how come nobody ever helped her? And her oldest sister told her that she never did anything because guys get falsely accused of rape all the time when he touched her. She knew for a fact this was happening. But that's how they treat my niece. Like, I feel like they still kind of try to brainwash her. You know, they still mentally abuse her. Yeah, she did it for the money. That's it. Yeah. She moves to a different county. Told everybody she didn't know about it. She's got a job as a manager at a restaurant, and nobody knows nonetheless. No, they're not lying. They're not. They're not. I know for a fact my nieces aren't lying. I know they're not. And even if the whole world says they are, I'm gonna believe those little girls before I believe any of these grown-ups. I'm always gonna believe my nieces, no matter like how much my family tries to convince them not to talk to me because I'm the bad person in the situation. I'm gonna be their voice because they've been brainwashed their whole life. They don't know. They don't know they're supposed to be mad. Their mom normalized it. All the people around it normalized this like it's supposed to happen. And I feel like this is one of the things I told you, like, people always talk about breaking intergenerational curses, but you can't do that when you keep having family secrets. We need to address these family secrets. His last name Salazar, Ernesto Samuel Salazar. I don't know if he still has his Facebook page. A lot of people blocked me once they knew that I was doing my own investigation on stuff and documenting everything. But I know on Facebook he has like all this church stuff, all this godly stuff written on there, and yeah. Oh, completely agree with you, but there's nothing I can do because my family won't give me any access to my niece. She's not an adult yet. She can't move out of the house. So there's nothing I can do while they have her. And it's with her, it's not so much like it's like I said, it's changed her view on relationships and her own sexuality and stuff like that for a long time. Um, Maybe up until a year ago or so, like, she wouldn't get dressed up or nothing. Every time she would put on clothes, she would, like, it was big baggy clothes, and she would wear like men's clothes and stuff because she didn't want nobody looking at her. If anybody ever came to my mom's house to come, do her windows or paint or anything, my niece would completely hide for them. She didn't want to be around men like that. When they would go to the grocery store, if my mom, like, if she would turn to look at something and my mom walked away, she would like start, getting anxiety and freaking out, like, grandma, where are you? So yeah, she does need counseling. She's been affected mentally, but the way my mom and my stepdad are, they don't really believe in that. Yes. And I'm trying to, and I want to address the situation, and I want to bring awareness to this because, like I said, Texas needs to change this law. Even if it's just a start, I wish it could be nationwide, worldwide, but I have to take baby steps, and Texas needs to change this law. And that's why I'm trying to address this situation and bring attention to this, because I can't fight by myself. I've been fighting already 2 years with these people all by myself. And it's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard. It's taking a toll on me mentally and emotionally, but I can't stop for them little girls. And even if it's not them little girls, it's other people's little girls. There's other kids. There's so many families that have all these secrets that if the kid says anything, they're going to get in trouble or they're going to be punished, or kids are scared. And it shouldn't be like that. If these adults knew that they were going to be accountable, then a lot more of them would speak up for kids. And that should be a given. But apparently some people need to be threatened into it. It's gross.
Tell me this.
Hmm.
Do you think, did your mom believe them? Whose side
My
was she
mom knew it
on?
was true. Yeah, my mom knew it was true.
So how
She
could she end up back with the kids?
Um, again, that's how my family is. It's all about secrets and lies. My mom and stepdad moved over here to Matagorda County and started their church and had this whole fake persona of Christian, holier than thou. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere where my mom and my stepdad were. And to them, they had no they had no shame. They would go up to you and tell you, "Oh, you're a sinner. You're drinking a beer. You're going to go to hell." They're so judgmental, and they're really like that on people. They're put up on a pedestal, you know, of people. So to them, it was always like how they looked. And that's where the protecting my sister came in, because they didn't want people to know that my sister knew, because how is it going to make my mom and stepdad look? They didn't want it to come out that they knew, because how is it going to make them look as church leaders?
You're right.
So, yeah. And then this is a small town too. Everybody talks. Everybody talks. So, it another thing too, you have to remember, churches are tax free. So there's a lot of benefits they get from having that church tax ID.
Wow.
Yeah. And this family, it comes down to money. That's what it comes down to. Money. One thing people ask me too is like, how come everybody else didn't come forward? Like they were going to benefit from not saying nothing. But I think with everybody, that's what it comes down to, is reputation, Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Honestly, because like I said, it's been a hard time. Nobody in my family speaks to me anymore because of this. Nobody in my family at all. It's literally just me and my one or two friends. That's all I have now, and my animals.
Because you came forward.
Because I came forward and it wasn't so much, they weren't so mad that when I took my niece. It was me letting the truth about everybody else knowing and never doing anything. That's what bothered them. It's not with what happened to my nieces. They all try to blame him. They all try to put it on him, and oh, he's so disgusting. And like, if you ask my mom, I've asked my mom, I've said stuff, and she'll tell me like, oh, he's so disgusting and nasty. And I'll have to look at her and I tell her, but your daughter knew and she let him. And my mom will just sit there and look at me like, just nothing. Just nothing at all. It's just a blank stare. Like,
wow.
She don't acknowledge it, so it's never happened. So what's 2022? Last year, I had started posting all the receipts, a lot of the receipts on Facebook. And so once I started posting the receipts of everybody, the actions that everybody took, then that's when my mom and my stepdad, they lied so they could take my property, because I was buying property from them. They tried to take my car from me. They went and stole stuff off my property. I had to file charges on them. Like, they all, mind you, my mom and stepdad are preachers, but these are really the lengths that they would go to to protect their reputation and my sister, because that's what's important to them. They go to this whole new church now. They got their little sedity little group of friends, and nobody's none the wiser. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. It is the money. It was always about money. My mom and my oldest sister actually had an incident where they were embezzling money from the church too, from my mom and stepdad's church. And when my stepdad found out, initially they tried to pin it on another lady at church. And then that lady at church was able to pull up all her receipts and documentation. So when it was found out that it was my mom and my sister, my mom threw my sister under the bus, and then my stepdad paid back all the money that was taken. Thank you. Thank you. And that's what I tell everybody now. I need to make my own family, and that's what I'm going to do, because all family ain't blood. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's why I think, like I said, I think that's another reason why they like to keep it a secret, because they don't want to jeopardize their church, because there's a lot of benefits that they get from having that church and that tax ID. Yeah. My mom isn't a good person. Like I said, we grew up in the foster system, and she got us back. The only reason why my mom got us back was because my dad passed away, and she knew she could get a check for us. That's all it was. It was just money. But yeah, that lady is she's a piece of work. I'll let y'all know that. There's been a lot done. So yeah. And my mom actually, so when my mom moved over here, she started telling everybody that all of her brothers in California molested her when she was little. And so, you know, she moves over here. She's this preacher. Everybody just believes what she says. Nobody looks into anything. And so she told everybody over here, you know, that her brothers all molested her. But here's the thing. She goes back to California and she goes and visits them. She drinks with them. She'll spend the night at their houses, you know. So it clicked in my head that my mom was just saying this just to get pity from people or attention, you know. Because truly, if somebody molested you when you were younger, so many years, would you feel safe sleeping in their house, getting drunk, falling asleep in their house, you know, trusting your kids around them, your grandkids? And if something happened to your grandkids, if you were molested, wouldn't you say something because you feel, especially being a Christian? But I had to basically sit down with the therapist and just tell her my whole life story. And there was so much stuff that she had to bring to light to me, like, hey, you've been being manipulated your entire life. No, you don't have to hold back when it comes to that, lady. Trust me. You haven't the slightest clue of the depths of evil that lady will go to for money. She will do anything for it, anything, you know.
She said the guy is in jail. He's in jail.
He's in prison. Already. He's in TDC.
Hey, you can't get. If they was gonna get involved, they should have been involved. What's up? What's up, Adam Fears?
No, he's in TDC. They can look him up on the TDCJ inmate search.
Give the ones his name that may want to go look it up.
Ernesto Samuel Salazar.
Y'all know that's what we do best. We get on here and
he's actually from Angleton. He was from Angleton.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Y'all know that's what we do best. We get on here and blog. So, you know, y'all go do your research on him or whatever.
Actually, too, let me tell you guys something too, because he's always lived in Angleton with his mother. But whenever I took my nieces to report it, his mom got so mad at me. His mom tells everybody I'm a stupid bitch. I'm a stupid bitch for taking my niece and reporting it because he was drunk when he did it.
Wow.
His mom, yeah. But I think that when he was little, I think his mom did stuff to him, because even his sons, I talk to them, and that's their grandma. And they say that she has like porn always laying around in the living room. She'll have dildos and sex toys and all kinds of stuff all around his house, just like it's like, you know, We put flowers on the table. She put sex toys and porn.
No feds can pick it up. Y'all gotta know the laws, man. Look, if
No.
the feds gonna pick it up, they'd have been picked it up in Texas. Every state has their own laws.
Yeah.
Y'all read y'all laws. Know y'all laws.
It only would have been a federal crime if he would have crossed state lines
State
and
to
done it with
state.
the girls.
Yes, state to state.
That's
It's
the
no
only
federal.
way.
It's no federal. He is
Hmm.
already in prison. Y'all can go
Yeah.
look him up. She just gave y'all the name.
Unless like
What I want you.
if he was like doing something like online and stuff like that, then that would have been a federal charge too. But no, it's just the state of Texas.
Think he was molested? The dude, Ernesto?
I think that's why I say I think his mom did stuff to him when he was younger, or because that's just not normal. You know, what normal mother woman leaves porno magazines and sex toys laying around their house when you know your grandkids are coming over? Like, no, that's something, that's a red flag right there. But even when she found out that her son did that, like she called me a stupid bitch. So
Saving Grace say she know that already. Oh, y'all kept saying put the FBI in it and all that. If they was gonna come in it, they'd have been in it. He deserved the worst punishment. I agree with you.
yeah.
He should have been put up because, like they say, them kids gonna need counseling and all of that stuff. If they ain't already getting it, they need to
Well,
really get
he
some.
is he actually married another lady. He married another girl before he went to prison. And I have a message from that girl where she's talking shit saying like, really 35 years for something that he asked God for forgiveness for? Like, these people don't feel like he did anything wrong because he asked God for forgiveness. But what these people fail to realize is the reason why he was charged with what he was charged with was because he did it within a 2-week period to my youngest niece before he was arrested. That's the only reason why he got the continued and vicious sexual assault on a child under the age of 12, was because he was still doing it. Like I said, he had bought my sister this nice house in a good neighborhood, and all the girls everybody had their own room. And my youngest niece would lock her room, her bedroom door every single night before she went to sleep. And that's not normal. What little kid wants to have their door locked, you know? But from what I was told, there was one key to that room, and it was on my sister's keychain. So if he was still doing it, that means my sister was handing him the key so he could go inside my niece's room at night and go do what he wanted to do. She actually has like 4 or 5 kids. So when she messaged me, I actually responded to her and I told her, like, you have like 4 or 5 kids that are in the age range that he likes. I don't know if, to me, in my head, I honestly think that it happened to more kids that were around, but I don't have proof of that. I would have to prove it, you know. But his son, and I don't think to him it mattered whether it was just little girls or just little boys, because one of his sons would tell me that when they were little, his dad, their dad would make them take a shower with him, and he would have an erection, and he would, have them touch it, or he would pleasure himself in the shower while his kids were in there. Yep. That's what I tell people all the time. You can't trust nobody, no matter how good that family looks, church, no church. Do not trust anybody with your kids. Here's a funny story. I don't know if there's anybody else involved, but the preacher of that church that supported my brother-in-law, he lived in 2 other counties before he moved over here, and somebody had filed charges on him for touching their child, except they ended up dropping the charges and the states never picked it up. So that preacher himself, because he was never convicted, was still able to have a church. But I think that it's not a coincidence that 2 different people in 2 separate counties who don't know each other just so happen to file the same charge on him. Yeah.
Damn. Man, I so appreciate you getting that out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. There's so many things and just little details of this. It's sick. It's honestly sick. And these people are all comfortable living with their lives. All these people get up and go to church every Sunday, Wednesday, every time that church door is open.
You might have got kicked out because your signal bad. You want to say something else, come back up. Just hit the link again. That's crazy, yeah. Yeah, if he would have went across state lines or something, yeah, the FBI would have got his ass.
I'm sorry. I think the reception's bad. I told you I'm not here in the country.
Yeah, it is. It broke up. But go ahead. You got anything else you want to say to him? Or?
No, all I ask is, like I said, I do want to bring this issue to the Texas legislation's attention. I've already contacted my state rep. I'm waiting for the state rep to get back to me to let me know what process and what steps I need to take. I've already told them if I need signatures, if I need whatever. The only thing I ask is for whoever support, like this needs to be a law. You know, anybody knowing that a kid is being hurt should be charged with a felony. That needs to change in Texas. So,
what you think? Sure, it just depends on the temper-minded. If I got my gun right there, I might do something I regret. You know what I'm saying? And then again, I might not regret it. You know what I'm saying? I just might be in jail without thinking. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's like, man, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it got to get reported. He got to go to jail. But some people don't think like that. They think with that trigger first, you know, and you got to fight your demons not to be able to, you know, think with that trigger first. That's all I can say, you know. I appreciate you coming up. Like I told you.
I honestly appreciate you giving me this opportunity to tell my story, because like I said, I have been fighting with everybody over here for years trying to get this out. And, you know, it's easier for everybody to say, I'm lying to help cover up their tracks, you know? And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop till something's done. I can't keep complaining about it and not do nothing. So I'm not going to stop until something is done. If not for my nieces, for other people's kids, for their grandkids, for their cousins, you know, your friends' kids. No more secrets. No more.
Wow. I so appreciate you coming. You know what I'm saying? I'll hit you back up later on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Anytime you got something to say, you know, you're more than welcome.
Yes. Once the state rep gets back with me and lets me know what process I need to take to bring this to the Texas legislation's, you know, so they can possibly look at it as a bill, I will definitely let you guys know, because I need everybody's support on this. Everybody's.
We got you. Just
thank you.
in touch. All right.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
All right. Appreciate you coming through coffee time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Man. Dang, man. That's crazy. How can y'all reach out to her? She a mod. She a mod on my channel. She gave them the story. Yvonne, that's crazy, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was all crunk because I was gonna bring, like I had some other stuff, but man, after hearing that story there live, just hearing someone, oh man, that's crazy. Anybody y'all can that relate to that story, that topic right there, you can hit the link and say what you got to say, but or maybe even say what you feel about what she said. Oh, you missed a good one. You missed a good one, a good sad one, man. I ain't gonna lie, I was when I got out, I was crunk. I was ready to get on. Y'all know I wasn't on yesterday. I was crunk, but man, I can't be crunk no more. Like, that's crazy. My prayers go out to her for strength. Some say private chat. Let me see what this say. Yeah, if y'all missed the stream, this is one that y'all do definitely want to go back and listen to. I got other people, man. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's a lot of it's a lot of them. They got different stuff to say. Just hearing some of their stories is like, oh man, yeah, I gotta do this. This is the way. This is it. They say happens every day. Yes, ma'am.
What I miss?
Oh, you just got to go back and watch it. It's like
I don't want to cry. So,
yeah. Well, I don't even want to, but I ain't gonna
oh
lie.
wow.
When I got up, I was gonna be, I was in a way uppity mood. But if that
Hmm.
story don't touch, if that story right there didn't touch a man that was listening to it, if it didn't touch him, then he lesser than a man.
Oh wow. I miss. I'm gonna have to go back and I'm gonna have to go back and listen. I'll be up only trying to listen to everything, but if it's gonna let me know right now, if it's gonna make me cry, I'm not gonna go listen to it. So tell me now if it's gonna make me cry.
Yeah, you might not want to listen to it. I don't know. She say she need a drink. I'm finna pop my hen open. Shit, and I'm finna smoke. But it's definitely. I mean, I definitely felt the story. There is like ooh wee, but I know it's more stories out there because it's stuff happens every day, like they say in the chat. Look, she said right there. You can go to her Facebook page. That's where she at. She posted receipts. Y'all can look him up, get the story. You know what I'm saying? She got his name. She told y'all his name. Go look his name up. Look what he charged with. Run that shit. Y'all know how we do. Y'all bloggers out there, run that story. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. Run that.
I'm so nosy like that. I'm gonna go look. Well, if it get too personal, I'm probably just not finish it off. But I'm gonna go look. And I hope it ain't dealing with no death, because I can't deal it.
Nah, well, it ain't nobody died. Uh, I felt like, well, I ain't gonna say that on YouTube because I felt like somebody should be the dude should be, for sure. And it's the other people in the back is just as guilty. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's how I feel. But everybody got their own opinion to the story. You would have to go listen to it. That's all I can say. Bring it back and listen to it.
I'm gonna go look right now.
Hey, look at Angie. Because it might be some people that haven't heard the story. Is it a way that you can just break it down in brief for the ones that just coming on and want to know? Because people's asking about it, and I don't want to comment on it, man. I'm like, it messed me up. That's crazy. Then these kids, they get in these foster care systems, and it even happens more. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But other than that, how your day been going, Miss Renee?
Oh, fine. Finally off from work. Then chill, give me a glass of wine, get my talk on, listen to see what y'all got going on. Yeah, oh, I'm about to go to the fair a little later. Take the kiddos to the fair.
Yeah, you gotta hit that fair. That fair going on too. You sure right.
Yeah, I'm going to get me a good old funnel cake. Ain't nothing like a fair funnel cake and sausage dog.
Sausage dog. Oh
Ooh,
man.
ain't nothing like a good old fair dog, yes. I ain't spending on it. But tonight is like a carload is like $60, 70 people, and then you get unlimited ride. Yeah, I ain't gonna ride nothing, but
Yeah. You gonna go get your you ain't gonna have no drink? Can't you drink out there?
yeah, you can have a drink. And I'm definitely gonna do that. Dealing with these kids, I ain't gonna have no choice. That's why I wanna be kind of tipsy walking around, cause these kids gonna run my nerve. Yeah, grandkids something serious, so hey.
Angela, come back up here. I posted the link in the chat. Come back up here real quick. What up, Memphis? The ones that I ain't acknowledged. Anybody said what's up coming in. I just, it ain't like I wasn't trying to speak to you or nothing. That story had just had my whole head. Okay, here she come.
Can you hear me?
Hey,
Can you hear me? Yeah.
can you kind of like brief people that's just coming in a little short ways of the
Yes.
story?
Yeah. So there is a trigger warning. This is an SA case. Um, Basically, my sister was feeding my three nieces to her husband for years in exchange for a plush lifestyle. Everybody knew what was going on and they never said anything. So they normalized this for my nieces. And basically, entire churches and church people stood behind the pedophile and helped lie for my sister so she wouldn't be charged with something that she needs to be charged with. What I feel.
Okay, so that sounds like it's more of what is I've seen on TV. Uh, um, the name of it's on the tip of my tongue. So it's like how it is like the male has multiple wives and they have kids that that's not his, so they have to sacrifice their kids that's not his to
No,
I
well,
would
here's
say
the thing. They had convinced my youngest niece that he was her real dad. He wasn't none of the girls' dads, but my sister convinced my youngest niece because they had been together since my sister was pregnant with her. So they convinced her that was her real dad. And so since she grew up watching my sister let her husband do it to the two oldest girls, by the time it got to my youngest niece, she thought that was normal. She thought that's how dads show love to their daughters. Like she thought everybody did it. She thought like that's how they show you attention. You know, your dad's supposed to do that to you.
wow.
Yeah, I know.
So he's not getting charged with anything?
No, he got charged. He got charged. My sister didn't get charged with anything because everybody was lying. When I took my niece to report it, everybody started lying for my sister to minimize her accountability in it. So they needed her testimony in order to have like a guaranteed, you know, sentencing for him. In order to guarantee he was going to go to prison, they needed her testimony. So the case is sealed. Nobody, all I can get is the police report with the initial day I went in and took my niece to report what was going on. So the case is sealed and everybody knows that and nobody can look in it. But my sister signed a statement saying that she knew what was going on and she was trading her daughters for gifts from her husband. She had been doing it for years. It's going to sound really sickening, but until this happened to my nieces, I never really knew too much about pedophiles, because it's not something that you look into. And after this happened, I had to, and it's sad to say, kind of study them. And so they have age ranges that they like, and they have names for each age range that they like. And so when he started with the first niece, once she got too old for him out of his age range, then he would move on to the next one. And it's kind of like rapists and serial killers. Each time they do it, when they do it more and more and more, each time it gets worse and worse and worse. So my first niece, it was just touching. The second niece, it was him doing stuff to her. But my youngest niece she got the hardest of it. She got the worst. I don't think I'll ever be able to say that sentence without crying because it fucking breaks me. Because I had to know, I had to hear and read details. There's just some things you don't want to know. And one thing I tell people is in your head, people think in your head like you think, you never know about something until you truly go through it. And this is nothing nobody ever wants to go through.
Exactly.
I can't handle it as an adult. And my nieces had to live it for years as babies, as kids. I couldn't even, to have to process that as a child, Sorry.
No, you okay? You okay?
Yeah. I said I didn't want to know. I
Well,
that
the third
that
one,
is so sad. That is hurtful. Oh
another
my
thing,
God.
I'm going to say this too, like I told you too, was it's really messed up because, I'm Mexican. And I feel like Mexican families, we have so many family secrets. Every person that has stood by my side in this fight, not one Mexican, not none of my family, nobody. Everybody that supported me is either white or black. not Mexicans. And I feel like this happens so much in Mexican families. It's just so common. And I never knew how much it happened to people until it happened to my nieces. Because once I started talking about it, there were so many other people that were like, you know what, this happened to me too. This happened to me too. And it wasn't just women. There's a lot of guys it happens to too. A lot of these guys, when they're young, when they're kids, and it's usually a family member, and that's what they're told, not to say anything. And the parents don't do anything.
Hello, Miss Pirate.
That's so sad. That is very, very sad. And that child gonna be messed up for the rest of her life. She's not gonna even know that is so scary. I gotta get off for a second. I'll be back.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good. You know.
I know it's a trigger for people, but yeah, I mean, like, she's right. It is. And my niece is going to be like that even more because everybody lied. So CPS put her right back in the same place with the same people who told everybody else to be quiet. So it's not going to, for her, the abuse isn't going to end until she walks away from that family the way I did. And she doesn't know any better because she's still a kid, She don't know. Yeah,
Damn.
it happens in a lot of families, and I feel like everybody's taught to be ashamed of it and not talk about it. And we need to start getting it out there. We need to start talking about it more because I feel like once it's made more common, the laws are going to change. That's what we need to do. Yeah, yeah, it does happen. It happens a lot. Yeah, that's the same way I feel too. Because there was, like I said, so many people that came forward to me once I started talking about it. And it's not just girls, it's guys, little boys too, or men when they were younger. Thank you. I'm not going to stop. I already told everybody, all these people involved, I'm not going to stop. They literally have to take me to court for defamation and slander, which they will not do because they know that that case will be popped open.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I ain't gonna even lie, y'all. After this live, I'm gonna end this live. We'll start. I was gonna bring another live, but man,
I'm sorry.
it's just I feel like he should be in there for fucking life. Fucking 35 ain't enough for somebody that damaged 3 girls. Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, it's because of the age. Like in the state of Texas, they do it by age. And what made it so hard for them, like I said, is that everybody was lying. So they basically had to give him charges that they knew they would stick. If they could have done it worse, they would have, but everybody was lying, making it so hard for the police. Like CPS gave my sister so of all the girls. So she stuck my middle niece in a mental hospital. And she kept her in that mental hospital, and she was the only one allowed to go visit her. And she kept her in that mental hospital until my niece agreed to comply. And my niece finally did. She's a kid. She don't know better. She don't want to stay locked up in a mental hospital. And when she got out, I have the messages posted on my page where she messaged me and basically was trying to get me to go be nice to my sister and be nice to my niece and make good with everybody. And I refused to. And once I refused to, then it was just like I caught even more hell. It was even worse. More people coming after me. They were telling everybody, I was a slut. I was going to fuck their man. It was just all kinds of stuff. Just.
Wow. I so appreciate you bringing this story forward, though. You know, like I say, you said it need to be heard, and I
It
definitely
has
agree
to be
with
heard.
you.
Like everybody says, this happens all the time. So no, I know my niece's story like this isn't the only one. And the only way if we're gonna change anything is if we bring attention to it. And every 2 years, Texas legislation reviews bills so they can make new laws. And this needs to be a law. It shouldn't just be doctors and teachers and preachers and nurses. It should be any person over the age of 18 years old. If you know something is happening to a child and you do not say anything, it should be a felony for anybody, because it's crazy. These people moved on with life. Like I said, they go to church every time the doors open without one, like their conscience never skipped a beat. One of the ladies, my sister's best friend, she's a victim advocate now. She's working for the county. And that just completely disgusts me, because how are you helping victims when you couldn't help a 6-year-old? A 6-year-old, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For 6 years, that little girl, that baby, she was a baby. It's just crazy to me. And I also feel like, you know what, too, once the church is involved, like that church that supported, Ernie, I feel like they shouldn't be allowed to be a church no more. Like, you should deem that a cult. You should take their tax ID away. You don't have government funding to protect pedophiles. That's that's not cool. No, it's not cool with me.
I definitely agree with you. Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah. That's our tax dollars we're paying for this church basically to support this pedophile, because they did. He couldn't, his and my sister's house was a block away from my mom's house. So when he was out on bond, he couldn't stay at that house because he had to be so many feet away from the girls. So the church put him up. The church was, they were putting him up, and, and that's not, our tax dollars are basically putting up this pedophile for this church, because that preacher was, my brother-in-law put that preacher on his bank account.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I told them earlier when they asked me what I would, and violence is definitely off top with some people. It's not funny, but violence would, it would take you there hearing that story there. But when
I'm not gonna lie to anybody and say my head didn't go to a dark place and I didn't want to do anything. Well, this trial was being dragged out for 2 years because he was out on bond for 2 years. So my niece was terrified to even go to the store. She did not want to see me. And this is a small town. We have 2 stores, So I'm not going to say my head didn't go to that dark place, because it did. But I knew, since everybody was lying, I had to keep it together, because if I didn't, this man would not be in jail right now. These people were okay with living with that lie, no matter what he did to them kids, no matter how much they love God. So.
That's crazy.
I commend you. I think that you should continue to put that out there. Maybe somebody, and I hope and pray that somebody do decide to help you and open up this case. You should keep it out there. I do not blame you at all, because I would do
Thank
that for
you.
my niece. I
Thank
don't
you.
matter what, and I
Yeah.
hope and pray, you know, that things work in your favor, because those girls gonna be scarred for the rest of their life.
Yeah. And
They're
it's
not even gonna be
sad
the same.
because, like I said, they've been brainwashed. Everybody around them normalized this. I can't blame my nieces for the way they feel towards me, because all the adults around them are, one, treating me that way, and two, teaching them to treat me that way, because I came forward with the truth. I'm never going to blame my nieces. It's not their fault. That's how they were raised. They were brainwashed, But I know one day when they're my age, when they're older, they're gonna sit there and they're gonna remember, and they're gonna know, you know, they're gonna think to themselves like, you know what, damn, my tia really did do that for me, you know. So, and
I
it's not
mean,
just
when kids go through a trauma like that, I mean, it's hard. It's hard when a kid go through um
mm-hmm,
something like that. It's hard. I mean, I understand as an aunt. I understand how you feel because I had to do that for my nieces, and I'm still doing it. My sister husband killed her in 2019, a day
oh
before
wow,
the 4th of July,
I'm very
and
sorry.
my 10-year-old niece was there. He
Oh
called
my,
her out the house and he shot her. He shot my sister and my niece seen it.
oh my
And
God.
she was on they was on a dark road. He lied to my sister to bring her out the house and said that he had been in a car accident with their baby girl, and she went, and he didn't he didn't know my niece was in the car with her mom, because when she pulled up, she got out the car and my niece stayed in there. So she ended up staying with her dead mama body for an hour.
Oh my
Luck-
God.
Luckily, somebody had came down the road and the guy pulled over and stayed with her till the cops got there. So when a child go through that, and like I said, she was only 10. So when a kid go through something, it's hard. Even though they didn't go through what my niece went through, but they went through a
Mhm.
trauma.
Yes,
So
I agree.
and it changed them when kids get changed,
Yeah.
and it's like to this day she's 13 now, and it's like she's a different person. She's not the same how she was,
Mhm.
you
They
know.
kill part of their spirit. That's what I feel
Yeah.
like. They kill like that carefree, just free spirit that kids have. They kill that. That's what I feel like.
Yeah. So and I understand you as an aunt. I understand what you're going through to fight for your niece, fight for her, because I'm fighting for mine, and
Hmm.
we just went through the trial. Um, and my niece had to face him.
Oh my God.
She had to face him in the trial, and that was her stepdad. It's like it's something. So I have to look after her. She's going through it. She's going through it, and even though her mom been gone, 3 years, she's still going
Hmm.
through it. So
Well, she
imagine
had
what
to
your
relive it. She had to relive it all at the trial. You know,
yeah.
they took her
Mhm.
back, very back to that dark place for her.
Yeah. So and I know she's gonna be traumatized. I mean, she's gonna be traumatized for the rest of her life. I mean,
Oh yeah.
she was out there, mama.
Let me.
Did she lose signal?
And I didn't know if it was me or her. I'm over here watching the house.
Maybe she lost signal. Wow, man.
Yeah.
That was another deep.
That's really sad because that little girl, that was her stepdad. So now her relationship with men is never going to be the same. She's never going to be able to trust him. That's sad. It's There's so many grown-ups okay with killing a child. You know, that innocence child has. You know, you only a kid only has that innocence for so long. You know, before they reach a certain age that they want to start, liking boys, or, liking girls, or, start doing teenager stuff. I feel like kids only have this really limited time to be kids and have this innocence, and why? Why would you want to take it? It's horrible.
Appreciate appreciate you coming through telling your story. Like I said earlier, my prayers with you.
Yes,
You already know how to get in touch with me. So
yes,
you
yes,
know
yes.
I'm there. That's for sure.
And I want to thank everybody else too for sharing their stories and their experiences too, because I know it's hard. I know it's hard to talk about it, especially to people you don't know. So thank you for everybody sharing their stories and their experiences, your prayers, your thoughts, your comments. Thank you. Yes.
I, yeah, that was deep. We're definitely gonna, you know what I'm saying, help you any way you can anytime you need a voice,
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely help you pass it along. Oh,
Thank
she
you.
said she got kicked off. No, your signal probably was bad. I didn't kick you off. You gotta hit let me drop the link again. She okay, when she come on and talk, put your mic on
Oh,
mute. You see where it say mic at the bottom of on your phone right there on the left?
oh yeah, yeah, I see. Okay.
That's the mute button. Don't get it mixed up with the camera button. Some
Yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
I wanna hear her finish. They say they praying for you. I know you can't see it, but they say they praying. They gonna pray for you, whatever, and put the story out there. Talk about it. The more people.
I'll make all the screenshots that I have on my page. I'll make them all public. So that way, even if somebody doesn't want to friend request me, they can still look on my page and they can still see, support all the stuff that other.
Miss Renee, you want to finish saying what you were saying? I'm finna go on mute.
What I was talking about my niece.
Yeah, did you finish? Or
I
we
don't know because I got kicked off. You know the phone, my phone ring. It not. I don't know, but I just want to say, I understand, and I'm glad that you're fighting for your niece. I mean, that's what aunts do. Because like I say, I fought for mine. I fought for mine, and like I said, I'm still to this day I'm fighting because it's just something that she's gonna have to go through, and I gotta be there because my sister not here. So I gotta be there. So when kids get traumatized like that, you don't know how their life's gonna turn out. Like my niece, like now she to herself. She stay in the room. She don't come out. She don't bother nobody. It's like she just sad. And so I imagine what my niece is going through. Your niece is probably going through, and she don't know how to handle it.
My niece actually, the very same thing you said your niece did, that's the same thing that my niece did too. My family never got her any help though, any type of counseling. So my niece is very suicidal now. She
Hmm.
started cutting herself. My mom and stepdad didn't even know she was cutting herself. I had to tell them, and they weren't even speaking to me. But
So
she
now
cuts.
that you said that she started cutting. Now I'm gonna have to check my niece out and making sure that she not doing that. I didn't even think about that. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to check her. But I try to instill in her to talk to me. She gets help or whatever, but I don't think the lady that's counseling her is really doing anything because my niece more says she had to write stuff down and then she's not talking it out. So I try to talk to her, but I don't want to talk to her about because I don't want her to keep reliving, that night, and because like in the court, um, the officers they showed the body cam when the officer was talking to her and she was screaming. She's like, I just want my aunt. When she was talking about me, she's like, I just want my aunt. I just want my aunt. So imagine, you know, they cry out for somebody to be there and they not, and nobody there. So I mean, like I say, you as an aunt, I commend you as an aunt to fight for your niece, and I'm glad that you're doing. I'm glad that you're putting that out there because that is just so important because you don't even know how their life gonna turn out. You don't know what's gonna happen to them because of the trauma they went through.
They didn't. They should have a crime victims like advocate for your niece, so they'll help her get like counseling. There's all kinds of resources for her because she was a victim. Um, but I will say this too: some professional therapists that you see and stuff, they treat you like you're a textbook case, and it sounds like that's what the person she's seeing with now. Like they're treating her like she's a textbook case. So maybe you should talk to the counselors first or have a meeting with them at first and see how they act before you take her to another one. That way, like you said, she's not going and having to relive this over and over and over again and especially feel like she's talking to people who aren't really listening to her. You can hear somebody without listening to them. So
Yeah, you're right. I I'm thankful for the state of South Carolina because they um they did agree to pay for her counseling for however long, for the rest of her life or whatever. They agreed to pay for it. I mean, it was horrible how it was done. And like I said, I love my nieces because I raised them and they was always in my household. And just that particular time, they was happy to go visit their mom. And it's just, yeah. I mean,
that's sad. I feel so bad. Honest, I feel so bad for you. I feel the same amount of pain for your niece as I do for mine because either a kid's innocence is a kid's innocence. It doesn't matter how you take it away. It's taken away. And like you said, it's going to change the rest of her life now. Like everything in it. That's just so sad. You know, I mean, it's nice to hear from somebody else going through something, a similar situation, fighting for a child. Because this entire time I've never had support. Um, I feel like as people, we need to talk about it more so we could support each other. I don't have to know you to support you to have compassion for you or your niece or nothing like that. Like, you know?
yeah, and that's an outlet for me. That's why I think it's more that I be on YouTube a lot, and just because I'm not gonna lie, as my sister was my best friend, we was like we wasn't twin, we like 2 years, 3 years apart from each other, but she was just like my everything. It's like I I go through stuff and I hurt, and but I try to stay strong for my nieces. My sister had three kids, but she the two youngest one. And luckily the baby was in the car. She was just only 4. So luckily she was asleep. She was in the car with him. And my other niece was in the car with my sister. And luckily the baby was asleep throughout the whole entire thing. So, and I'm like, it's been 3 years and I still haven't got over it. So I know with me not being over it, I can imagine what she's going through. Yeah.
And it's even harder, when you're like broken yourself and having to be strong for somebody. I understand. I can completely understand that. That's really, really hard.
Right. What's up,
You know,
Deshaun? Hey, Miss Renee. Hey, Miss Hernandez.
Hey, Miss
My heart.
Pyrex.
Hey,
I'm
baby.
on mute because I'm breaking up, so
hey,
that's why I'm on
This
mute.
Pyrex.
It's okay. I just want to say that, her story really touched me, as I'm sure it's touching a lot of people, that's down in the chat. And I just want everybody to think about, for her story, and every one of us who have a story, we have to think about those who we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many kids that are going
Right.
through this where it hasn't even been recognized. It hasn't been brought to anybody's attention.
Mhm.
So these conversations do need to happen a lot more. And it's
It
not just
does.
our little girls anymore. We always tell our daughters, stranger danger. And so they're so used to that. Like, they're after our sons, as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
And the system is failing them, and we have to try to come up with our own plan to protect our own children. Like, what do we do when the system that we supposed to trust in fails us as well,
Right.
without
Well,
going
the
off
thing
the deep end and crashing out?
Well, the thing is, that's one reason why I'm saying we need to bring attention to this, because every 2 years, the Texas legislation reviews new bills to make them new laws. And it's not a law that a person knows a kid's being abused not to say nothing. It's a law if a doctor, a priest, a teacher doesn't say anything, then they get charged. But for me or you, it's not a law. And we need to change that. Like, we need to start doing what we need to do, our due process, so that way we can get this in front of them and start talking about it. And they need to hear it, because when we're in chats like this, look how many people just pop up and pop up and pop up,
Mhm.
We need to start normalizing
These
bringing it to people's attention.
most definitely do.
Must
Like,
that.
has
Yeah.
to be done. It's happening too much. You know what I'm saying? And we see all the time in the media how it was always these different signs of what was taking place in his household, how CPS had already been called and already been out to the house in some kind of way. This child still slipped through the cracks. And like I said, for every child where we know about it and it is an open case, there are so many more who are still living in these situations, not knowing who to trust, because this is somebody that's close to them, somebody that's supposed to love them and keep them safe. You know what I'm saying? So it really kind of messes them up. This is where their trust begins. And especially for a young lady, like, how is she ever supposed to feel comfortable with a man again, or to trust a man again?
Right. Right.
And it turns into a situation where hurt people, or either they hurt themselves.
Yep.
No, that's absolutely 100% very true. Very true. I completely agree with you on that statement. I do.
And
Me
I
too.
I think that's why I'm so passionate when it comes to someone talking about a kid, how they just disrespect the kid. And I get so angry because
Mhm.
I know what I'm dealing with my niece. So I get angry when it's dealing with kids, period. I don't like that. It breaks my heart.
I feel like, okay, like she said, when a kid, like a little kid tells somebody, an adult, hey, this is happening to me, and the adult is like, well, don't say nothing, or in my family you get in trouble, like you literally would get disciplined, then that's exactly what my mom and my stepdad did to my niece. They told her not to talk. And as a child, your brain's not even fully developed yet. You don't know how to process decision making or none of that yet, so as a child, when this grown up that you trust tells you, you know what, hey, don't say nothing, keep it a secret, that they started normalizing. That's how they normalize it for them. And that's why I say I feel like that's part of the grooming process. You're helping groom this child. You're helping this child, making this child think that this is normal and it's okay. Just don't say nothing and it'll be okay. And that's my problem with it, because that's what happened in my family. That's what happened with my nieces. Everybody just normalized it around them, that they brainwashed. By the time it got to my youngest niece, she was completely brainwashed. She just thought it was normal, you know and it didn't bother the grown-ups. I don't understand how you can know a grown man is doing something with a 6-year-old and it doesn't bother you, but it didn't bother them.
I'm sorry. I think I would be behind bars. Like I say, even though our situation is kind of different a little bit, but I, me as an aunt, I believe I would hurt him. He wouldn't be alive. I'm sorry. I just and I would
But it
I
wasn't
don't
it wasn't just him. It was everybody knew. I mean, it's literally been, when I'm telling you, it's literally me fighting this entire town of people, because I wasn't from here. my nieces and everybody, they went to school here. My mom, my stepdad, they knew people here. They had friends here. And the way these little towns are, their people are messy. So all they had to do was tell them, hey, don't listen to her. She's lying. She's crazy. She's this, she's that. And everybody over here that's their friends, they believe them. And no, it's literally has been me from the very beginning fighting everybody, because all everybody did was keep lying and lying and lying. But the good thing about that is, you know what they say is, when you come up with one lie, you have to come up with another lie and another lie and another lie. So they really told on themselves, because now it don't make sense.
I just want to ask you a question. Do you have any, I mean, besides yourself, like backing you up,
Mhm.
like really trying to help you? I mean, because I
No,
don't live in Texas, but if I could do anything, I would be glad to help you. Whatever I could do, I would do it. I would.
no, literally, I'm like I tell literally my entire family does not talk to me anymore. I mean, aunts, uncles, cousins, my mom, my stepdad, my sister, like nobody speaks to me at all. My niece isn't allowed to have any contact with me. Like she's not allowed. That's where they put a stipulation on her regarding me, because I was the only person that she could talk to about it, and I was the only person that would tell her the truth. Because when she asks them, why did you guys never tell? They either tell her, they blow her off. You know, her sister told her that guys get falsely accused of rape, and he did it to her. How can you turn around and tell somebody, well, guys get falsely accused of rape, so I couldn't tell, but he did it to you, so you know it's not a lie. So because everybody lied, she just got put right back in the same mentally abusive situation. So it's literally been me fighting everybody. And just now, people are starting to finally hear me.
And I'm glad that they are, somebody is to help you. I'm hoping somebody can come out. Like I said again, if I could do anything, and I would be glad to help you. Like I said, but I don't live in Texas, so I mean, hey, it got to start somewhere, you know.
No, no, no. I understand. And that's why it I need to keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. Like, I know it's a really bad story, it's a horrible thing to hear, but at the same time, people need to hear it, and you really need to hear how horrible it really is, because something needs to be done. If you keep hearing this horrible story, you need to do something about it. And that's why I need people to hear about it and hear about it, because I have nobody here to support me. So if I have to get strangers on the internet to help me, then I'll get strangers on the internet to help me. But I've been pretty much posting about this for the past like year or two, and people are just now starting to hear me. People are just now starting to, I guess, believe what I said and realize that what I'm saying is true. So, and I'm going to keep on saying it. And two, I'm not going to lie, it's easier for me to post something about it on Facebook than it is for me to talk about it, because there's just parts of the story that are always just going to, just instantly break my heart, because it's horrible. It's hard. It's hard. Some of the things that I know, I wish I never ever knew, but I do. So there's nothing I can do. And as long as I know those things, when I know the real horror things that my nieces went through, man, they're going to have to kill me to stop me. That's the only way to stop me. I'm not going to stop. Never.
Right on. Right on.
Miss Pyrex and Deshaun, let me say, can one night, can we just do can y'all, I'm talking about me, can y'all just do a summary of about kids? I mean, because I mean, we do need to do awareness about kids. Maybe somebody can come up, might be going through what she's going through or what I'm going through, or a situation dealing with a kid. Mike can reach out to somebody, because sometimes people do look for an outlet. So both of y'all got a platform. That's why I'm asking. Can we do, one day, both of y'all?
I'm sure Miss Pyrex open to whatever that's going, help. That's what we're here for. Put the word out there. You know, whatever our people want, that's what I'm sure that's what she gonna do too. So it is what it is, of course.
I, like I said, I'm very passionate when it comes to kids. I'm very passionate about that. I don't like to see a kid hurt or anything. And it is just something awareness that we can put out there, then we need to do it. We need to put it out there. That's just so sad. I'm just
Well, I think, like you said, even just networking like that, to talk to, because you never, I mean, it wasn't until I started talking about it that I had other people like, hey, this happened to me. Hey, this happened to me too. Hey, I was in a similar situation. My mom never did anything. It wasn't until I started talking about it that other people started coming forward. And the reason too is because we're taught to be ashamed of it. You're taught to be ashamed of this happening to you, as especially for men. I think men have it way, way harder because it's more embarrassing for a man, because then people start questioning your sexuality, even though it wasn't consenting. So I think it's harder for men than it is for women. And even if it is just a group for just men to deal with it or network with it or, talk to each other, it's a good idea, because it wasn't until I kept talking about it, other people were comfortable enough to tell me and come forward. And some of these people never even told anybody else. They didn't know me like that or nothing, but it was because of the story of my nieces and their situation. And they hear it and they're like, wow, well, this happened to me too. And this happened to me too. But like I said, I've had guys tell me, and then like my brother-in-law did it to his two sons too. So, I think, some people just, he's a pedophile. I don't think he really has he don't care as long as it's a kid.
That's crazy. I think, as a man, I think 35 years wasn't enough.
35 years will never be enough. Especially now because the prison system ain't like it used to be. And when I say that, I'm talking about like prison gang, you know, uh, prison rules and stuff like that. A lot of stuff has changed. It's just not the same anymore. So, because he's been there already for about 2 or 3 years. And like I said, he tells everybody it's all a lie. And yeah, he's just, living like a fat rat. His wife keeps money on his books. Um, he has a church full of people who support him. So, I mean, how is he really being punished other than he's just behind bars? You know?
That's crazy. They know what he did and supporting him. His wife is still there, right there, supporting him, no matter
You know
what he
what's
did.
crazy though? I'm going to tell you this. It's crazy though. And this is another reason why my sister signed her statement is because if my sister would have got sent to women's prison, they would have sent her to Gatesville. They would have beat my sister. They would. And it's crazy to say that the women's prison would do more swift justice towards her than the men's prison would do towards him. She knew what was going to happen to her. She knew exactly what was going to happen to her if she went in there. My mom, my stepdad, everybody knew what was going to happen to her if she went. Everybody knew. There's no way they would have let that ride at all.
Wow. Yeah, 35 years or something. Yeah, they say 35 years wasn't enough. I don't blame him. Oh man, I think he should have got the fucking death penalty or the street death penalty, whatever. However you want to put it.
I think it would have been harsher for him had everybody not around him lied. when my mom and everybody else, my sister's friends and everybody was lying. They thought they were protecting my sister, but they weren't.
Yeah, game over. They arrested him. She wants people to, you know what I'm saying, put the story out there, whatever. Give them his name again, in case they want to search him.
Ernesto Samuel Salazar. He's a TDC judge.
Say it again whenever I click this mic off. Say it.
Okay. Ernesto Samuel Salazar.
They say, what prison is he housed at? Angie. They say, what prison is he housed at?
Hold on. I'm sorry. I was talking with the mic off. Hold on a second. Let me look real quick. Hold on. Let me look and I'll tell you. Hold on.
They ain't touched him in prison because they be hiding them. Man, they hide their paperwork like that in prison. Only way it leak is if like somebody real in touch with a boss man, a guard, or somebody that may got access to it. Other than that, they kind of like keep them people separated, and sometimes they be right there in your face, and you just don't know what they got. You know the gangs, you got to put your shit out there. What you in here for? Gangs, yeah, but in Texas prisons, people that are they in protective custody? Hold up, she'll be back. Oh, no, the mama ended up with the kids. The mama is raising the kids. Let me say this correctly. Not the mama of the kids, the grandma, her mom, the mom. You say, do I know any guards? Hmm. She must have dropped back out. She'll be back in. They say, or if he was on TV, the inmates would know what he did. Yeah, unfortunately, down here in Texas, they don't do that. They don't really do the Texas prison thing. You know what I'm saying? You see other states doing it, but down here, no. It would have to leak. You know what I'm saying? And once it leak, it's pure hell from there, though. They got this stuff called safe prison now in Texas, you know. The shit that used to happen in the old days in them prisons don't happen no more like that. You know? They call it a safe prison shit. Some shit. He say he's in Beto unit. I know where that's at. He on Beto unit. Oh yeah, he on a hellified. He on a rock and roll unit. That's a real unit that he on. I know where Beto at. That's a real unit. He probably in there camouflaged. You know what I'm saying? Like people, he ain't letting them know what he in there for. Because if he in population, he hiding it differently. He telling them that he got busted with drugs or something. You know. Now a lot of them gangs to join them, the gangs, yeah, you got to show what you in that. They need to know. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't just trying to swing like that and all that, you basically yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's how them people go unnoticed that do that kind of stuff. Some of them, they keep on sex offender units now. You know what I'm saying? They got sex offender units in Texas. But Beto is a real prison. Like, he in a real prison. He ain't on no special sex offender cap. Beto is a real prison. Let me try. He uses big holy roller, cover it. Go ahead.
So he uses like he's this hardcore Christian. That's what he uses. That's what, that's, like I said, he had that whole church to back him up. He has money too. Before took my niece to report it, he was a welder out here at the plant. So he was making like $50 an hour. My sister wasn't able to pay for the house. So he got the house in the divorce and he sold the house. So he got all that money too. So he has, he has money. He's very well taken care of. And like I said, he has that wife and she'll do anything.
That's crazy. She bagged him up just like that, knowing what he did.
Yeah, that's what they all use, that he asked God for forgiveness. So why did it's basically he's telling everybody it happened a long time ago. He asked God for forgiveness. So why am I bringing it back up again? And it doesn't matter whether it was a long time ago or not. You should be like, the dude I'm with, like, did something with the kid. That's not cool, So
That's deep right there, man. Wow, the church covering up for the devil. Man, out of all things.
It's not a church. It is a cult. I am telling everybody, this is a cult.
It's a cult.
It should be considered a cult. You hear the whole story, that's the way it sounds, but it's messed up that it's legally considered a church and our tax dollars are supporting them, But when these people can't even do the right thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Man, I'm sure it's more people that been through a lot of stuff. Y'all need to come forward, like she said, like Miss Renee said. You know what I'm saying? Y'all come forward, talk about it. That's how I get heard, Reach out to people. Sometimes that when they know you serious about your business, they gonna reach out to you. You know what I'm saying? Just like me, I made this possible with her today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be bringing y'all. It's some more people, man. Y'all be surprised how many people responded. Man, just all.
No, I was gonna say there's so many people that go through real life stuff. We go through real life situations and you wouldn't know by looking at a person, you wouldn't know. But we do. We have to talk about it. We need to start normalizing talking about our trauma and talking about things like this that happen. This is what we need to normalize. This should be the norm.
Facts. That's definitely true.
Maybe you should do, like Miss Renee said, maybe you should like do another, show on this issue or something, because look how many people, even got involved in it, and you never know. And it helps people. It does. It helps somebody who's ashamed of it and doesn't want to say anything, once somebody else sees, oh my God, these other people are talking about it, or, oh my God, these other people, they keep, it'll open up a spot for them and maybe it'll help them. Maybe they won't say nothing, but maybe it'll make it a little bit easier for them, because like my niece, she tries to hurt herself because of it. If she can see that, other people are talking about this and other people have been through this, maybe it might take that away from her, you know, if this is just more normalized, you know, so she doesn't have to feel the way she feels, you know, alone, because that's what it is. That's how she feels alone.
Man, that's deep right there. I know she do. And the other two too is three of them, correct? Not just one. It's three of them altogether, right?
Yes, it's three of them all together, but the oldest one from the very beginning, from the very jump, she got people to harass her sister, and she got grown men after me. I'm talking about grown men, and they have no shame about it neither. They have no shame about it. Um, After me, just for telling on my sister, you know, she's always told everybody it's a lie. And here's the crazy thing, because she'll post stuff on Facebook about save our children. Oh, if your child says anything, tell them. But look what she did to her sister. She literally had tried to get men to physically attack her sister for reporting what was being done to her because my sister was involved. My middle niece, like I said, my sister stuck her in that mental hospital and kept her in that mental hospital because everybody lied. CPS gave her the say so. And my sister was the only one allowed to go visit her. Like, it's crazy the situation they put it in, but it's like they're already brainwashed and you put them in more of a situation to be further brainwashed. So that's what my sister did. My sister told her she wasn't going to let her out till she did what she wanted her to do. And when she got out, I have the message on my Facebook. When my niece is messaging me, she's telling me to apologize to my sister. I need to be there for my sister. You've done things wrong in your life too. Like, she's comparing, you know, and you can't compare. This doesn't even compare. Nothing I've ever done in this world will ever compare to what my sister allowed her husband to do to them three girls. And it's sad that they've convinced my nieces like it's not a big deal, you know. It's like, just get over it, like, just like it's nothing.
Wow, that's crazy. It's really crazy. Money is power in the world. You're right. Man, man, you're right. And having money, with him having money in the inside, you know what I'm saying? He gonna go camouflage, no matter they believe him or not, because he got money. It's a lot of unfortunate.
And he will. I'm gonna tell you this, and he will pay anything he has to, or do anything that he has to do, because he knows what's gonna happen. He don't know how to fight. Like I said, he's from Angleton. All my brothers knew him. You know, when we were younger, my brothers all knew him. My brothers used to beat him and his friends up all the time. Like, he can't fight. Even as an adult, once he got with my sister, he was scared to come over to our house. My brother had to literally be like, I promise I won't beat you up. Like, he's very, very scary. So he will pay or do anything he has to do to cover his ass. He does not care. And like I said, he had the money. He had the money.
Well, my prayers go out to you and your family. You too, Miss Renee. Hope you find, comfort. Both of y'all.
Her and her niece, her nieces, them little girls, really. Thank you for letting me share my story, because I do need to learn to start, sharing it. It does make it a little bit easier for me. I need to get used to telling this story. So, because this is a story that I need to use to make people aware, because that's how messed up it is. But like I said, it's normal. So thank you for letting me share what I needed to share.
You already know it's all good. Once you told me, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. It's all good. Anytime. I hope
Yeah,
y'all.
thank you.
I hope
Thank
both
you
of
so
y'all
much.
find comfort. I hope y'all both find comfort. You know what I'm saying? Both of y'all. Miss Renee probably muted in the back, but yeah, both of y'all. I hope both of y'all find comfort. Thank y'all for coming up here on Coffee Time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. You ever need me for something, you already know how to get at me.
Yeah, I already know. Like I said, I got a hold of the state rep. Once the state rep lets us know what we need to do to push this to legislation, I will hit you back up so we can get on this again because we need to make this happen. This needs to be a law. I'm not going to keep complaining about something without trying to make a change. And so that's I'm gonna, even if I got to by myself, like I said, till death.
I feel that. Feel that.
Oh yes. I was listening to everything, but again, thank you guys. If we can do anything for you, Angela, if I could do anything, just let me know. Hey, I'm there. I'm there. I feel so sorry for your nieces. So
No,
thank
if
you.
your nieces have my heart too, and you as well. Like you said, you have to be strong for them. So find me on Facebook. I dropped my Facebook on there. If you want somebody to talk to, if you want to scream, yell, cry, whatever, I will talk to you because trust me, I have been there. And sometimes that's what you got to do. And I know it's hard to be strong, especially when you're trying to be strong for, three other people. So just let me know. I'll be there for you.
I thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, Miss Renee. You wanted to say anything else?
No, no more than we need to do a show like that, and for kids. I really think that we need to put that out there. I really believe that.
I do too. Like I say, I'm gonna be bringing some more people up. You know what I'm saying? I got some people already on her. I just don't know when they ready. When they ready, I'm gonna let them come up, and I don't know what it might not be the same story, it might not be similar. It's gonna be something about that they went through. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm there, so hey, like I
Yeah,
say,
I feel that, Miss Pyrex. Yes, yes, do it, do it, do it.
hey, you should. Yes, Miss Barry, you should.
Yes,
You should. And I'm right there on the panel with you, talking
straight
about it.
up. I'm gonna be
You
right
put it
there.
out there.
Straight up, I'm gonna be right there too. Unless if I'm busy, I'm still gonna be there.
Exactly. Exactly.
You don't hear too many people say that, huh? If I'm busy, I'm still gonna be there. Hey, I appreciate all y'all tuning in to Coffee Time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be coming back live after a while, but I'm finna switch out of this live. You say I gotta be on the panel? Hey, I do whatever I can, say whatever I can. I've been there, been through a lot, a whole lot. I felt the subject I was talking about yesterday. It's just I was moving around in traffic, and if I would have came on, it would have been probably breaking up and stuff. But I was saying what I thought from the comments. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think y'all was looking at the comments. But I was in the comments too. Yeah, we need to spread this, Miss Pyrex. I'm all for it. All y'all gotta do is let me know. Whatever I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Oh yeah, Smiley. If y'all just tuning in, y'all definitely want to go back to the beginning of this video and listen to it. It's a little sad, but hey, it's a story. It's a real live story that just got told. So let me get back with y'all. I'm gonna hit a couple of more people that reached out to me. If so, I'm gonna bring them on ASAP. Y'all gonna see it post. Y'all will see me come live. Thank y'all, everybody that subscribed to the channel, my mods that promote Coffee Time, push Coffee Time. I appreciate all of y'all. I'm out.